I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Woo! How's everyone doing out there on the internet land? The sounds of Mac Lish fill the room. What's up, everybody? It's the Monday Night Raw After Show. Monday Night Raw comes to you live from Wichita, Kansas, where we're broadcasting right here in Los Angeles, California. My name is Flobo Boyce. Thank you so much for keeping me in your life and second screens. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. On my far, far left in the All-Star panel, this guy is the voice of the AEW Dynamite panel right there on AfterBuzz TV, Mr. Jack Farmer.
I got a feeling tonight's gonna be a good night.
Okay, that's a Black Eyed Peas reference. I like it. On his right, he's a man that built the King's Court with his bare hands. Give it up for Jim Alexander.
Yeah, they're at work all the time. This weekend, every day. What's going on, Marks?
And to my left, she is shaking her head because Jim Alexander said something about. She is a host of the Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly program, Miss TK Trinidad.
Bonjour.
Hi, Wee. How's it going? How's life? You good?
Come see, come sa.
Come see, come sa. Dang. And in the booth, the man that's going to challenge Mojo Rawley for the 24/7 title, Mr. Josh Alonso.
You're damn right, and I think I got an upper hand on him, so you better watch out.
He's not running.
He's over right now.
I didn't know you swore.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
He goes to see Slayer. What do you think?
Also want to give it up for everyone in the chat right now. Dang MQ, Dylan Matthews, Leslie, who does the Raw and Espanol show right after this on AfterBuzz TV Latino.
She's in the chat?
Luigi is going on.
Oh,
New York's in the building. External Shockwave, Joseph Boza. Okay, Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts about the show? We're rocking, we're rolling. Royal Rumble season.
I liked last week better than this week. This week, it's one of those things with me because, as some of you guys know, I have a lot of things going on. And when I watch Raw, like a good show to me is something that keeps my attention.
Fair.
And me not having 6 windows open plus my phone and still trying to pay attention. And this week, I was not like, I was like, okay. Like I watched it, but I didn't really watch it avidly.
Like browser windows, not like actual windows.
Exactly.
Got it.
So that's what today's felt like. It was just
Must
like
live in an
okay.
mansion then. I wish I lived there.
6 windows open. Shout out to Jim Alexander. What do you think, man? Episode?
I thought it was a weaker show. Like last week was strong. We were talking. There need to be building. I mean, it's a week before Royal Rumble. You'd think they'd set, does not feel like it's a week before Royal Rumble. Usually they set something up, an angle, storyline. It's all just being built to the Rumble match itself, which is kind of weird in a way. And they're putting a lot of stock into it, I feel. But there's nothing else I felt that we took away from it. Like, ooh, there's a feud, there's this. It's just like a regular show on a, months or weeks away from a pay-per-view. It just didn't feel like a week leading up to a go home show. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid show, but it did feel like one of those episodes where the Rumble was 1 week too far away.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if it was this week or this previous weekend and last week was the go home show. It felt like they had to fill up a week this week.
Gotcha. Speaking of giant matches, in the chat, Dylan Matthews says TK versus Instagram at WrestleMania. She's been feuding with them for months. I thought the show was pretty solid. I liked it. Granted, my problem with Raw today was not so much the matches or the promos, just how they were laid out and how they were sequenced. I thought the last hour was kind of weak, but I thought the
main
show
event.
Yeah, you said yes.
Let's talk
stopped immediately.
Let's talk about the true main event. New Raw Tag Team Champions, buddy. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Coming to get it on.
I'm doing it because Monj hates when I do this.
Where did that voice come from?
I matched the tone.
He's a DJ. So he does things
Jack
like
got
that.
soul, man. Right on, brother. Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins, new Raw Tag Team Champions, beating the Viking Raiders. Didn't see it coming only because the match itself kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the match was pretty solid. Let's start with you, Jack. Thoughts about the match?
I thought this was a really good match, actually. I thought we got to see the Viking Raiders actually wrestle someone legitimate. It was a shocking surprise ending. I did not think they were going to walk away with the titles. It's interesting to me because now Seth Rollins is a tag team champion again with Buddy Murphy. Who would have predicted Buddy Murphy was going to be a champion before guys like Ali and a bunch of other people who came in around the same time?
Yeah.
But I like it. I know it's easy to pick it apart and be like, well, what about the AOP? Shouldn't they be the tag team champions? And shouldn't they have kept them on the Viking Raiders or something? But
yeah, what about
it was today, living in a moment. It was a fun match. It was a surprise ending. I'm happy.
TK thoughts?
So here's a possible thought. Like, we know Seth Rollins, barring that anything crazy happens, he's going to be with WWE. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, yada, yada, yada.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer? That's a bold prediction. I think so, too.
I think so. I mean, the way that they're... well, that's a whole nother argument.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I think.
Got it.
My thing is that he's not going away anytime soon. It's like he reinvents himself, all this stuff, which is great. But why couldn't he be the mouthpiece for AOP and let AOP be the tag team champions?
Good point. It's a real good point.
Because now what do you do with AOP?
How about neither of them be the champions? How about keep it on the Viking Raiders?
I agree with Jim,
What
actually.
a burial of these guys. I was talking about having him lead up to that match at WrestleMania. AOP, Viking Raiders, a big brawl,
did say that
anticipated,
6 months ago.
building it. They're done. This is done. I don't want to see this anymore. Viking Raiders were buried tonight. Officially. I'm not buying him. I'm not, because you cannot take the straps of them dead. I don't care if it's Rollins, anyone. They should not be dropping that title. It completely kills their momentum. They have nowhere to go now. They just look like an average run-of-the-mill tag team now. Buddy Murphy and Rollins do not need the tag team titles at all. It does nothing for them to elevate them. And if you wanted to do the whole Undisputed Era thing where they collect all the titles, it sure as hell wouldn't be on Rollins and Murphy. It would be on the AOP, not them. It's just a bad move, completely bad direction. You missed the opportunity on Viking Raiders. It's a big takeaway from tonight. I thought it was a major, major miss.
My argument is, you're right. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy do not need the tag team titles. But the tag team titles need Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Because what are we doing with the Viking Raiders? Are they going to
hold them on build them,
squash local nobodies for another 4 months?
They don't have to. They can squash other guys, or they don't have to even defend the titles. They can be involved in feuds. They can be involved in a faction. They don't have to defend the titles every week.
That was my issue. They beat so many local competitors, and they lost to Buddy Murphy. Go ahead.
It's just bad. It's a bad. Like, I don't buy him anymore. They've lost any sort of credibility with me after tonight. They do. I don't want to see their push. I don't want to see their push.
He's a great wrestler, but it's like what do you guys say? My bad, I can't remember who.
We look and sound alike.
We're basically the same person.
No, he's still sick, guys. I'm still trying to get over it. I think it's one of those things where he jumped over a lot of other people that had great potential. Like, especially coming into Royal Rumble with Buddy Murphy, I just don't think that was a good pairing. Right. I don't. It's not making sense to me.
Storyline wise, having this antagonistic faction of titles makes sense to me. But the Viking Raiders have faced countless nobodies and I mean that people that aren't on the roster for months. And then Buddy Murphy, a guy that lost to Aleister Black 3 times in a row, was the one to pin Eric. To me,
first real match for him, first real competition, and this is how they go out. So that tells me that's like a team. If you're talking in football sense, that's like a middling team, like the Chicago Bears, where you just beat a bunch of bad teams, and then when you face good competition, you just lose, and you're nothing. You're nothing in that way.
Bears,
but that's again, who else would they have? I know the big match between AOP and Viking Raiders would have been great. But there was no one else for them to go against.
Build it. Jack, we're at Royal Rumble already. It's not that long to WrestleMania to start building feuds for WrestleMania. You just get through Royal Rumble this Sunday, and you can start building a feud towards WrestleMania. You could have had a long, nice feud between these two teams.
There's still 2 months before.
But you buried them. I don't want to see them. I lost trust in them. I don't want to.
Final thought on this.
I think I would love to again see be a fly in the walls, the writer room, as far as you have some stories where it's long, a la like Lana.
That's how you write a story.
But then you also have stories where it's short. It's a couple weeks or it's a couple months, and there's stories that go through that lead into past Royal Rumble into WrestleMania. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing those stories. Interesting stories, I should say, that make me want to even watch Royal Rumble. I'm like,
Hot take. We got to move on, but Jack Farmer, can you tell the world how they can interact with this show and other AfterBuzz shows?
Yeah, you can interact with us on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. And because of viewers and listeners like you, we are the ESPN of TV talk. Now, in order for us to keep on bringing you this content, we need to ask you a favor, and that favor is to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a little comment. Leave us a 5-star review. We ask all the time. I don't see them happening that often, though. let's see it happen. It started nice.
I used to
and then
sit
got mad.
there. I was like, wait a minute, this seems very familiar.
I tried to do but like this when it means like losers, which kind of would fit in with my mold of what I say, so it's fine.
You want to give us thumbs down?
No,
guys.
but seriously,
Don't give
hit
us thumbs
the
down.
like button, hit the comment button, and hit the subscribe button.
Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your neighbors, tell your girlfriends. You know what I mean? Because we
Tell
know
your mailman.
Yeah, because we know the regular
milkman?
subscribe. We know
Is
the
there a
regular
milkman
subscribe.
anymore?
No, there isn't a
milkman?
milkman.
Sure.
Well, I think
Hey, I've
that-
seen some shows with that.
Thanks, I appreciate that, Josh. United States Championship was on the line in a ladder match. Andrade Cien, the former Cien Almas, against Rey Mysterio. The match I thought someone was going to die.
Yeah.
It was for a Raw.
Yeah.
Damn, you know.
Yeah, and it's on free TV.
Yeah.
TK, thoughts about the match, Rey Mysterio, Andrade, and this feud that's going on right now?
No thoughts on.
I mean, it was sick. Ladders were flying everywhere.
The match was great. It was scary. Like it had me engaged.
Scary, yeah.
But I don't know. There's just like obviously we know Rey Mysterio is a legend. It's just I don't know.
He's a legend. He's taking bumps like that. So for me, that's
a Raw.
Listen. I've retired Rey Mysterio months ago,
you
but
did.
I'm unretiring him right now because if he's going to take
Thank
bumps,
you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Retiring Mysterio.
Just for a
He's
short
gonna
while.
be thrilled.
just for a short while. But no, I got to give him a lot of credit for him to put his body at that age, and Andrade too. I mean, they went through some ladders, like
Yeah.
literally.
He's been doing
That's
that.
like a TLC. That's a pay-per-view quality
Yes.
match,
Okay.
and with bumps like that
Yes.
for a Raw. Hats off to both of them. I thought it was really well wrestled, and just they took some major bumps.
So external shockwave, he says the match was sloppy AF. Do you think it was? Do you think there were a lot of mistakes, or do you think that was planned?
Well, if you're taking bumps like that off the ladder, it's not going to be perfect.
Hard
You
to
know?
say. Jack, what do you think?
I thought it was incredibly entertaining, but yeah, the whole time I was thinking these guys are going to kill themselves. I am shocked we're getting this on a Monday Night Raw. Again, I like getting that kind of stuff on free TV, so I was okay with it. But I could not believe how intense this match was. And yeah, great for Rey Mysterio, great for Andrade. Again, this guy, Andrade and Zelina, I think are ready for main event stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Not yet, but close.
Humberto Carrillo returns after weeks of not being on television and wearing a mask at first. It threw me off.
A mascaras.
Yeah, yes.
Mascaras.
Mascaras.
Yeah, he was wearing a mascara. Shout out to Leslie.
Shout out to Leslie.
Yeah, I actually thought it was Dominic for
How
a quick
come I haven't
second.
been getting any words, Leslie? Anyway, sorry.
Oh, snap. How do you...
Tune into Raw Espanol to find out.
Oh, man. Como se dice la curra? Jim Alexander, thoughts about... No! Thoughts about Humberto Carrillo's return.
I don't care.
Okay, great. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm actually a fan.
did?
I think
No,
it's cool.
I wanted Rey
let me say-
Mysterio's son to show up.
I thought it
cares about
was
Dominic?
Dominic.
Yeah, I want
Here's the thing.
Dominic. Where's Dominic?
Here's about Carrillo. Does him being back, is that an impactful move? Are you like marking out to that? No,
No.
pun
It's
intended.
a good question because
It just doesn't draw much of anything.
Well-
Just like, oh, he shows up cool.
Yeah, which one you would rather, Carrillo or Dominic?
that's two
Neither.
different things.
Yes.
Well, Carrillo's actually a professional wrestler, and Dominic is not. Right?
Yeah.
I thought he's
Beans
training
or
though.
He is
Brussels
training, though.
sprouts,
We're talking
neither,
about
you know?
inside the storyline.
I think for me, it feels like Andrade, Carrillo, and Mysterio have been feuding with each other for 9 months. It feels like they just they're constantly in each other's way, and I would have preferred it had been someone completely new, someone different,
Right.
for Andrade to feud with. I think Carrillo has good matches. I think they'll have good matches, but I think we've already seen them.
Right. So the thing is, I thought about, we were talking about this before the show in the green room. I don't like it when a competitor is like taken out and they disappear. So the fact that Carrillo came back was like, okay, great. I'd rather him like right after the sunset or whatever happens there. So I was glad he was back and not just a guy walking to the ring getting hit by, I think it was AJ Styles at the time, and then disappearing. That's the only reason why I thought it
Right
was
from
pretty
the sun. What is he, Zorro or something?
I'm not just saying that. We got to move on. Our actual main event of the night by
Yes,
time
yes.
was a intergender or mixed matched tag
match.
team match.
Playa.
I'm gonna dance to
Coming
that.
to get it on.
Bobby Lashley and Lana, the
Yes.
self-proclaimed greatest wrestler in the world, she said it herself, took on Rusev and Liv Morgan in our main event of a 3-hour Raw.
Can I start out on this? I love this
Jim
match.
Alexander, please.
I love this match. I mean, look at Liv Morgan's new attire, by the way. I'll get to that soon, but here's the thing. Lashley's going over. I do have one concern about my feud. I do have. About this
feud.
Yeah, but I think we need to separate Lashley from Rusev for a little bit at least, or put some higher stakes. We need some higher stakes here because it's getting a little bit repetitive. I want Liv, freaking Morgan, and Lana. I want that storyline. I want the juice. That juice needs to be squeezed. We need to know more about this storyline.
Yeah, I'm going to take the reel and say, Flobo, you said that this couldn't be solved in a ring, yet here we are settling the business in the ring.
What was solved, though?
That Bobby Lashley and Lana are the best couple in the WWE.
Best couple
that they have
in the WWE.
The
whole WWE.
I swear.
Yeah, who else?
Prove me wrong.
Who else is there? I can't even name another couple.
Who?
Nobody. Lana.
Naomi
is not around.
I haven't seen her in
Points.
Wow. Look, dude,
best on-screen couple.
The best couple in the WWE.
They're probably the only couple in the WWE. If they did Seth and Becky, they would have beat them too.
Yeah, but that's not a thing anymore.
So,
like, what do you mean? They're engaged.
Look, again, I agree.
Not in wrestling.
I agree with Jim. I think it's time for them to move away from Rusev. But they are the best. They are some of the best heels in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
If they were to go on to do whatever next, they're great. They're phenomenal villains because people hate them.
Continue the Liv Morgan storyline, but take away Rusev from it. Maybe enter someone else into the equation from Liv Morgan's side. I want more. I want this to keep on unraveling. I want days of our Raw lives. Days of our Raw lives to be going on for like 7,000 episodes of Rusev and Lana and you know the whole feud.
I try to be positive, man, but you guys are really pushing me with the storyline.
There's more to be done here. There is more.
Vito's about to blow his stack.
There is nothing to be done. We've done it all for months. We sat there and Lana and Lashley and not one iota progression. We had Lashley go over Rusev at Starrcade and at Raw last night and at Raw now, and you want more matches. I'm on board for month 1, month 2, month 3. It won't end. It needs to end.
You never were on board.
Of all of this.
It's a point.
Regardless of what happens on Raw, I wanted to continue so I get that Flobo every week forever.
I know. Was that?
Let's hear it for Vince McMahon putting this together.
It's now time for TK's Boudoir.
Hashtag Flobo needs a hug.
Flobito. Well, that was a lot. Heel Vito in the house.
I got the head move. Hey, it's been a busy weekend.
Of course it has. TK's Boudoir is brought to you by Centurion Skincare and Candles. If you want to get on some candles, some cocoa butter, all that good stuff, go to CenturionCompany.com. Put in the code AfterBuzz TV and you get a nice little discount.
How much?
That's a good question. 15%?
20%.
Oh, 20. Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
So today's boudoir is a little bit of a mix-up of different things. Definitely a shout to Keith Lee. I don't know if you saw the news. He was talking about how WWE rejected him a whole bunch of times, so he didn't even think he was going to be in the WWE. And here he is doing great things. So shout out to Keith Lee. Always been a fan of Keith Lee. Al Heyman. Did you see the outfit?
Who?
Al Heyman.
Never heard of him.
Paul Heyman.
Oh, Al Heyman. I was just like, legitimately like interested.
Why are you guys pretending?
I literally was
Paul
like,
Heyman.
I was like, don't say anything because you're gonna look stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was an idiot. Like, it was Al Heyman.
I will always call stuff out.
I don't know who that is.
Al Heyman looked good because it didn't look like Paul Heyman. That's for sure.
Paul Heyman's outfit.
Yeah.
Thank you. How did you bring that
It's
up
like
so quickly?
70s. It was like a 70s Joker outfit almost.
No, it was the color scheme. It was a little bit. He was
It
trying
was
something
suede.
different.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was like
It
a
was
checker.
like a plaid, and then his shoes
It was a
matched
cool
too.
fabric.
He's like a
too.
host, a 70s host.
Yeah, he does look like he'd be hosting Price is Right or something.
We
not?
told you the price.
the newlywed game or something.
And then also shout out to Zelina Vega, her outfit. I
Yes.
think it was a cross between Little Kim's outfit that was in the purple and she had the one nipple out. And
Zelina Vega?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
no, Lil Kim's outfit.
Little Kim's outfit.
Okay, yeah.
Am I talking a different language? And then a cross between, I think Jennifer Lopez had an outfit like that as well. So shout out to Zelina Vega for her outfit. And then also shout out to this guy. He's been in TK's Boudoir a bunch of times, but more on the condolence side of things. The Rock, his father passed away. At 75, they actually gave the reason why he passed away was due to a heart attack. So condolences to The Rock and his family. But he still looks hot, and his whole family does too. and the Usos. And
Dylan Matthews says TK's hair in the boudoir, and Charlene says Fancy Jank in the boudoir looking good in eggplant.
Wow.
Hey, thank you, Charlotte.
Now it's time for King's Court.
All hail Jim Alexander.
This is better than Lana's storyline.
I need to meet this woman.
He is the most handsome, charming, intellectual, and brilliant man on God's green earth. Pay attention when the AfterBuzz King speaks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Love this music. Love the King's
Jack,
Court.
no.
Yes, bow down to the King. King's Court today. I think we need to. I mentioned Charlotte. I think we got a good Charlotte this week. You know what I mean? Like,
wrestler, yeah.
Did she change her hair color? Maybe a little bit pinkish or something, or purple. Okay, Charlotte, you're almost in the King's Court. You're like really close. Hey, listen, ain't nobody taking that seat from Liv Morgan right now, especially tonight. We saw the Liv Morgan outfit now. It looks like Batwoman or something. It's awesome. Liv Morgan is officially tied with Mandy Moore. If you missed it, Mandy Rose. Hey, Mandy Moore. Hey, Mandy Moore is fired too. Yeah. Mandy Moore, you're in the boudoir. And you know what? We're gonna
the old Mandy Moore, the young Mandy Moore.
Both.
This is us.
Hey, this is us right now, and back in the day. What is it, Candy or something? The song.
I'm missing you.
Yeah.
Like candy.
So Mandy Moore, and of course Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan. You know, that's where it's up. Charlotte, welcome.
Okay.
For this week.
Flobito, I'm sorry, but he is high.
Okay.
Wait, do we have air going on here today? I haven't felt
I know.
it much.
Maybe that's why we're getting names messed up.
Speaking of things that are kind of messed up, we actually had our first ever Monday After Weekend Update. The Street Profits has another SNL skit. Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, charismatic guys in the roster, but they're all doing sketch comedy. Variety show tactics. TK, fingers up.
First off,
shout
out to, and I miss him profusely, Evan T. Mack. I saw he was hanging out with them in Mississippi. So shout out to Evan T. Mack doing his thing.
They're in a museum or something, right? Yeah. Museum visit or something?
Oh, God. Is Evan going to be in the museum visit for Black History Month?
It's a possibility.
Also, you didn't mention MLK.
It is MLK Day, yeah.
Boudoir, right?
You want to throw Martin Luther King in TK's boudoir? Okay.
This is off the rails. Totally off the rails.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the man made an impact.
They're obviously somebody in the locker room really likes them to be putting them on so often.
But the skits,
and they're good.
It wasn't
this
good.
This particular skit, I wasn't a fan of.
But they've done it already. This is like the third time or something. Second or third time. This is when you're ripping stuff off of Colin Jost, you were in problem territory.
But they were on. Maybe it's a crossover because Colin Jost and Michael Che were on WWE. I think in the fall. So maybe it was just it's a tie.
WrestleMania. And when you're trying to rip off stuff of Colin Jost and Michael J, no, that's not working. It's not funny.
Is there actual fan crossover there?
Yeah,
do
is
wrestling
anyone
fans watch
interested in
Saturday
this?
Night Live and does Saturday Night Live fans
maybe
watch
they're gonna
wrestling?
use that. Like I was saying, it would have been a good YouTube bit. Like I wouldn't mind watching it. They packaged it in YouTube, and it was like that. I'm like, oh, this is cute. But to have it on Raw, I wasn't really feeling it.
It makes no sense. It's corny and it's lame and it's not. It's just it's a really cheap way to use an idea. It's a completely, unoriginal way of like, ooh, this is our
that's
weekend
wrestling.
update. Let's just
Some
do
of
it
the stuff
wrestling.
is
But they're funny, they're charismatic, but I think it's just a different
folks.
skill set for that kind of thing. It's like when you have someone who's great on the microphone when they're in the ring, but then they put them on commentary and they're not as good.
But they're good in the ring too. That's the
great
problem.
in the ring.
We never talk about them in a ring, though. We never talk about them in a ring.
This skit was just a different type of presentation, and I don't think it clicked for them. I personally didn't think it clicked the first time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
This time it felt like it didn't click either. It wasn't funny. It was kind of awkward. I think they're great. I think you put them in the ring and they're improvising, or they're obviously their wrestling is great. This I don't think it worked.
But these guys are always in skits. That's all we know of them and see of them. We don't.
That's a good point.
I can't even think of their last match. Honestly, they don't stand out. Or they're good in a ring. Where you think of when I think of them NXT days. But now it's just like goofy backstage skits. It's always some corny thing.
Like I said,
it's
they're like the new version of the New Day. They're the young version of the New Day.
Wait, how so?
New Day was over. They're not.
Well, how so?
No, New Day. First off, when they first started, they weren't over.
But they were heels though.
It took an amount of time time for people to actually start buying into the New Day.
But they were heels. These guys are faces from the start.
And for my thing, I'm taking away the heel and the faces. It's just that they do the buffoonery well.
Okay.
But it's just kind of like they're the younger version of them.
But their skits are, at least New Day had good content. There's nothing good or funny about it.
No,
it's
they
so
do
amateurish.
funny stuff. This
above.
thing
They're
wasn't
above
funny.
that. They're above that.
They
I
are.
actually disagree. We got to move on. Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, had a match against Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
She's 6 days away from her match with Asuka. Thoughts about the match? And I want to say having Asuka on top of the ring post, pretty dope.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was my favorite moment of the night was that. I thought that was
cool.
just fun, and it was a great, I agree. And it's great to see
It's
Kairi
like a
Sane back in
watchful
the
eye,
ring, too.
you know, that she could attack at any time or whatnot. That was a cool little move, you know.
Do you think that Becky needs somebody in her corner or somebody else in her corner?
Becky needs to lose and drop.
She needs to drop the title. I think she desperately needs. I think it's great because they're teasing this kind of storyline about how she's not signing a new contract until she gets this match with Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if if she lost the match to Asuka and then they did a little bit of, well, maybe we're not going to sign you again. You just lost your match, Becky.
But there's no authority figure. That's the only problem. I think it's a good idea, though.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
They need something fresh for her going into WrestleMania.
Technically,
There is no GM. They were removed when the whole Baron Corbin thing fell apart. It was, you are the authority, even though NXT
So
UK,
we're the
205s.
GM. I'm going to be negotiating all your contracts now, superstars.
Oh my goodness. Let's
Sign them over to, Dynamite.
Dynamite Wrestling.
But here's the thing. This is a time. Yeah, Dynamite contracts too. This is the time where you need something new. Right after this Royal Rumble match, either she drops or something. We need a new story for her going to WrestleMania and a new version of Becky Lynch because they did it for Rollins and it's working. Mm-hmm. This is now the time to do something new for Becky. If she's going in the way she is right now into WrestleMania, let's say she goes over Asuka, same old, nothing interesting. I'm not buying her at all going into WrestleMania. This is the time to make a switch, either a character change or some drastic move for her to freshen her up.
I'm kind of torn because the Royal Rumble is notorious for building and hot-shotting an opponent, which is fun. I love it. Mm-hmm. Where they're not going to win. I got a feeling, man, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble is going to be on the Raw side. We'll get the predictions, but that's going to be the actual challenger that may challenge at WrestleMania. Mm. So I do think Becky retains here, personally.
She probably will.
Yeah,
but
I
think it'd be better if she did not.
But can you see a Becky? Somebody said in the chat, I just lost it. But can you see a Becky and Shayna gearing up for WrestleMania?
That would be good. That'd be something fresh. That's the thing. You just need something new. You can't have the same old. Obviously the SmackDown Women's title is not as important based on who's carrying it.
I know who is carrying it.
It's Bayley.
Yeah, well, that tells you everything. And
watch SmackDown.
but that's what I mean. If you're gonna do something, if Asuka were to go over, that would make her seem so over. You know what I mean? Because she'd build on the momentum, and that would put her in that category of we're talking about a top contender. Because right now she's teasing to be a top contender, but if she doesn't go over, it's the Lacey effect, where you slide back to the bottom. If she goes over,
she's number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
That's right.
Asuka's also it's very interesting now. She's one of those people that she was obviously unbeatable for a long time, and then she hit a lull.
Because of Charlotte.
But if she wins again, she will. I think she'll regain all of that back. That whole period
she reinvented herself, so that
will come back.
It's a perfect timing to do that.
I think she could be they could have another huge superstar if she wins.
Yeah, and they put over Kairi Sane at the same time, just being associated with us.
I like Kairi. She needs more matches with her.
Yeah, agreed.
So one of the matches I thought that was interesting of note was Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. It looked like you were having two, good guys with Edge having a match, but then, oh no, RK out of nowhere. Randy Orton, bad guy? Is he a bad guy?
No, I think it's Drew McIntyre going back to a heel. I think that's what it is. He was a nice guy, and then you smacked that RKO into him, and you got him back to being a bad guy. First of all, these guys should not be facing each other. They both need to be over in different places. Yeah. That doesn't help anyone in this match, for them to feud. They don't have flushed out characters in a sense. Are they going with Drew McIntyre full face or not? Is Orton going to be this uber face? Because that's not a thing that he works well as. Mm-hmm. We need something. I think if you're pushing Drew McIntyre to be a serious contender come WrestleMania season, he cannot be feuding with Orton right before Royal Rumble. That's just not the place he needs to be. He needs to be going over people cleanly.
I didn't think it was a feud. I think it was an exhibition match. Jack Farmer, thoughts about the match and the work afterwards?
I thought that this was a match that should have been on a pay-per-view as well, but more in in an overall sense. It felt like this was too big of a match to see these two guys fighting it out this early. I love the end, actually. Of course, you always want to see a winner, and the OC felt kind of thrown in randomly. Not randomly, they've been building to it, but it felt sort of forced in. I love that he hit the RKO on Drew McIntyre. I want him to hit him with the chair, too, because I like
What about Drew hitting the...
what
about Drew doing that to Orton?
He can't be a goody two-shoe face. It just doesn't work for him.
Right.
And
Orton or McIntyre?
For Orton.
For Orton.
It's too early to tell with Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I still love what he's doing just because he's winning and he's looking strong. But Randy Orton's not good as a cheesy babyface.
No.
Right.
And so I like that he has the edge to him, that he still hit the RKO. Like I said, when he first cleared the ring, I want him to hit Drew McIntyre too. Like, I'm not good or bad. I'm taking out everybody.
Yeah. I hear voices in my head.
Yeah, I hear voices. I don't have any control over this.
Right.
It's in my veins.
You're weak. It's in my veins.
The Viper.
So overall, I thought it was a fun way to lead into the Royal Rumble, because now we're all wondering what's going to happen when they're both in the ring together at the Royal Rumble.
Is that a set up a feud for WrestleMania? I hope not.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably that time he got Claymore out of his boots. He was just sitting there ringside. Dang. Take your thoughts about the match.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, they build up Drew, and then they just let him fall flat. And then they build him up, and then they let him fall flat. It's just frustrating because you know how hard he works. You know a lot of people know his backstory, and I think he's the perfect candidate to be some type of champion. And it's just like, what are they doing with him?
Ziggler 2.0, that's what they're doing with him. Unless he goes over in a big way and has something happen. This is his last shot
Soon.
to be taken seriously. I'm telling you, by WrestleMania, if he's not involved in a major angle or in a championship match, this is Ziggler 2.0 officially.
Yeah.
We can mark that down.
Can fans get on board? I know we like him, but you think
I think
casual fans?
we're on board at one point because he has the look. He's something different, but it's just like he could still be great to kids, great to women, men look up to him, all that good stuff. Like I think he could. I think it's plausible. And he had at certain points where it was believable. At this point, it's just like they pop him and they pop him out. You can't get behind him. But at one point, you were behind him.
True.
So now it's just frustrating because you know he has all the tools, but it's just like, well, what are you doing with him? Like, there's never gonna be. It's like a kid. There's never a perfect time to have a kid. There's never a perfect time, but he has all the tools to do that.
That's right. It just happens.
Hot take, man.
Hey, no one's ready for that.
Jack, how do you feel about kids? No.
They start with a candle.
They start with a candle.
Hey.
CenterInCompany.com.
Thank you, Bobby.
I do try. We have
Cocoa butter.
We got 5 minutes left.
Let's start with the cocoa butter, then the candles.
Flobo, can we do I don't know if maybe you have it on the cards.
Tell me.
Can we do a prediction for Royal Rumble?
Yeah, we're doing it right now. 5 minutes of the show.
There we
Royal Rumble
go.
predictions.
Yes. I like it.
2 massive main events of Royal Rumble matches. Let's start with that first. Who do you guys have winning each Royal Rumble match?
Brock Lesnar. It's a spoiler, folks. Why get your hopes up for anything else? He's going to number 1, and he's just gonna go through everybody else.
The Rumble
from
match or
there.
the actual
He
match?
is winning
Rumble
it
match.
all. Your Royal Rumble winner, Brock Lesnar.
You and the time, man. The Paul Heyman thing is.
Wow.
No, really, who's gonna win the Women's Royal Rumble? Because it's not gonna be Brock Lesnar. There's no way. There's absolutely no way Brock Lesnar is gonna.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No,
Does
it
not
Because
doesn't.
make
here's
sense.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
You take
Okay.
away a spot for someone to be go over.
Right, but you're so frustrated with Brock. We've been through this with Brock for several years.
Right.
He comes and goes as he pleases. He has the belt, and it's just one of those things like. It's like, it doesn't make sense. He's going in first. It doesn't make any type of sense. But then, you're going to have you watching it. It's like, this doesn't make sense.
Well,
He's still there.
Let's take
It
Brock
doesn't make
Lesnar out of the
sense.
equation. Let's take Brock Lesnar out
I'll
of the
take
equation.
some. I'll put someone into your equation.
If the reigning WWE champion goes into a match where the sole purpose of that match is determining a number 1 contender and wins it,
just a waste of a Rumble. It
doesn't
just
that break
kicks
the Rumble?
It wastes the Rumble. You know how it doesn't waste? Edge.
Who? Oh.
Edge.
You think he's going to win?
I think he could win. If he's coming out there, he's winning.
Okay. That's a very spirited take.
Yeah, and that's what I say. If he debuts, Edge is going to win. And if he doesn't, I see 3 guys.
Okay.
Orton, Drew McIntyre, if they finally pull that
They're not
switch
going
on
to,
him.
though.
Okay.
I have my doubts, but this could be surprise because we don't have a clear-cut winner. And my boy, B. Corbin, the king.
No.
This is his time.
Thank you,
What do
Josh
you mean? This is his time.
He's
We've
already
been
had
building
a
my
time.
man
He has
for
a city
over a
named
year.
after him. Like, he's in a good spot.
But that's what I mean. The good spot. This is the next step. This is the next step of the evolution. Baron Corbin, your King of the Ring and Royal Rumble winner.
Do you
on a
really see
SmackDown.
Baron Corbin being like a Seth Rollins in the sense of how the company's pushing Seth in that do you see Baron Corbin?
No, he doesn't
being
have
like-
to be that. He doesn't.
think
He's his own man.
He was there around King of the Ring time. I think that ship has sailed for now.
What do you mean? He's putting dog food into Roman's face for weeks now.
I mean,
okay?
he's putting dog food on the.
Hold on, Jim. What do you have for the Women's Rumble? Just you got Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre. For the Women's Rumble, who do you have?
Women's Rumble. Come on. My girl, Mandy Rose. This is her time.
Mandy Rose has no chance of winning the Rumble.
Why? Why not? Why doesn't she have a chance, though? Who else? Are you going to give it to Becky again or somehow? Are you going to give it to Charlotte? I mean, these are too easy of picks.
It's a very valid-
Or if you want to give it, if she doesn't have a match on her own, Lacey Evans. If you really want to put someone
Or
over.
Ronda Rousey.
No, they don't need that. They're too over. I could see Shayna Baszler
thinking of
too.
it wrong though. It's not whether they.
But if you want to put someone over, Mandy Rose is a time.
They don't
Let her
always-
get
When
that
was the last
huge
time
win.
they used the Rumble to help build someone?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Mandy Rose can't win. It's not even used to build. It's kind of like okay.
Why not though? This is how you build a star. That automatically overnight brings you a star. If you want to build a star on the rise really quick, no better way than Royal Rumble having them pick up that win. You're a bona fide star in one night.
Jack, who's your female Rumble?
I
winner?
think there's a lot of people that you can say that feel really spicy to say like Shayna Baszler or Ronda Rousey.
Spicy.
You know who I'm predicting to win the Rumble? Lana. Lana's gonna be your Royal Rumble winner, and
I got kinda like
everyone's
that.
going to hate it, and I'm gonna laugh.
That could be good. Or if Liv Morgan wins, that's just going to be such a transformation. Incredibly, also.
They're all blonde women. White
KK,
women.
please help me out here. Who's winning the men's or women's Royal Rumble? Not Lana. Please not Lana.
Good call.
You know what? The thing is, with both those picks, they're definitely possible because we do need, especially for, and I've been saying this forever, particularly for the women, we do need somebody else coming up other than Charlotte, Becky,
Right.
Bailey.
They don't need that.
We do need another woman, and the locker room is full with potential women. Like Mandy does have the potential, given everything that you can either love her that she's gorgeous, or you can hate her that she's gorgeous, but you feel both ways with her, which is a good thing. So we do have women who could take that, and that would be the perfect platform.
But I'm asking you directly, who is winning the women's Royal Rumble?
I don't know. Now that you said Lana, I can kind of buy that.
So Brock Lesnar and Lana are going to be your
Yes.
This is a Rumble for the ages, everyone.
I was so excited
I
to join
can't.
George Hermosa that night after the show and talk about how happy I am that those two are our new Royal Rumble
You
winners.
only live once.
So
okay?
Shockwave
And
is
for
saying
that night.
McIntyre and Sasha, anti-villain Firestone, says Dakota
Sasha.
Kai.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Those are NXT. No, that does. What are you gonna?
Baszler is NXT. I think she has. a chance
But
to
she's
win.
on the way up. She's
on
the
the
only
way
one
up.
that's gonna jump. That's her
Yeah.
time. But
Or
no one else is
Bianca.
jumping.
Okay.
No, Bianca's
might.
not jumping
She's
now. There's no
50-50. But I forgot what was
Not before the Rumble, though, because she's got a match with Ripley.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, right?
Yes.
That's gonna
Strap
be a
match.
squash.
Strap match.
Squash. Wyatt's going over.
Strap
So
match
is everybody
different.
excited about watching this, other than the people who have to watch it for the after show?
Yes, because it's
Rumble-
unpredictable. This
The
year it's
Rumble
really
is my
unpredictable.
favorite
Yeah.
show of the year.
It's one of-
I love the Royal Rumble every year.
It's one of the few events that sells itself. You don't
Yeah.
really have. You can have a Rumble that matters, but the fact it's a Royal Rumble of 30 men or women coming out, that's
You
all it
can
is.
build a star in one night. That's what I mean. This is your opportunity, WWE. If you're watching right now, I know you are because I see some storylines playing out that I really love. Liv Morgan and Lana. But this is the night to build a new star. Use that opportunity. Don't squander it. Make 2 stars overnight. Baron Corbin and Mandy Rose.
About time to get out of here. I think we had enough of all this tonight with junior storylines and all that. Jack Farmer, where can the world find you online?
You can find me at jackcfarmer.com as well as at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. Also, make sure to check out the AEW Dynamite After Show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific on AfterBuzz, as well as the brand new AEW Wrestling social media skim that goes on every Wednesday night as well.
Wow, an AEW social media skip.
Jim
How
Alexander.
interesting.
Hate me, love me, I don't care, but follow me at Real
It's true.
Talker. Or no, check out Real Talker, actually, good interviews. RELTalker.com. And you can follow me at DJM Alexander. Marks, you know what's up.
Miss Trinidad.
I think I'm almost finally out of IG jail, so you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can check out my website. It's going to be a new website in 1 month at tktrinidad.com. And then there is also a social media skim for wrestling overall, not just AEW, just wrestling in general, because that's just how we do.
That's a social
on
media
every
shoot.
Monday.
It's a different show, actually.
No, it's actually
all right,
social-
my boy
social
Flobo,
media
so you
skim.
check it out. Me on YouTube, brand new series. What's up, Flobo? Follow me
It's
on
cool.
Twitter,
Check it out.
@Flobo. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
man.
you do a lot of cool, interesting topics to cover. I recommend it.
And Instagram at Flobito.com. But until next time, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.